What about this person isn't a lady? Well, his penis. Her penis, you fucking bigot!
What do we have?
All right, you want to talk about Ricky Gervais' brand new stand-up?
Yo, Gervais had a fucking great take on cancel culture.
Yeah, dude.
Well, we could play the clip and insert it, but basically he's like, if you don't let me improve from the shit I said 10 years ago, I'm gonna just keep saying it.
You want Al to see the... Al hadn't seen it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna...
I saw the other one, but...
It was his best day ever. He was on Twitter going, oh, I've wanted to do this all my life, right? And then someone found these 10-year-old tweets. It's
about Kevin Hart right now.
They were sort of childish, sort of shitty, homophobic tweets. It was about his son. He was mucking around. He said, oh, my son's doing so-and-so. I hope he's not gay. There was a massive backlash. He went, oh, sorry, I'm not homophobic, really sorry. He deleted them, right, and said, I'm really sorry. 10 years later, someone finds a screen grab and goes, look, he's done this. Oh, big thing. The Oscars go, oh, you got to apologise again. He went, no, I've apologised. I can't keep apologising. And he's right. If there's no value to saying sorry and evolving, you might as well just tweet him again. Oh, yeah. That's how I deal with shit, anyway. But if you're the type of person to revel in someone getting cancelled for something they said 10 years ago, you're just ensuring that one day you'll be cancelled for something you said today. You can't predict what will be offensive in the future. You don't know who the dominant mob will be. You know, like, the worst thing you can say today, get you cancelled on Twitter, death threats, whatever, the worst thing you can say today is, women don't have penises, right? Now, no one saw that coming. There are no 10-year-old tweets of people saying... You won't find a 10-year-old tweet of someone saying women don't have penises. Do you know why? We didn't think we fucking had to.
It's great.
Yeah.
Great
Okay,
take.
let's get to the trans thing after, but the first part of it.
Yeah.
This idea, it's like, what world do you want to live in? Like, if you want to live in a world where people are no longer saying these words, if they're not saying them, they said them 10 years, but they're not saying them, then you have to let them evolve.
They have evolved with the times, which is what you want them to do.
What world do you want to live in?
Yes.
Because otherwise, just keep saying it, and now you're in the world that you don't want to be in.
Yeah.
So shut the fuck up. You have what you want.
Yes.
Cancel the people that are still doing it.
Yes.
Okay? I don't even want to say cancel them, but like...
You want punitive action or shout them down or whatever. If they're still saying it, cool. If they said it in the past and stopped saying it, that's exactly what you want. You want people to evolve and learn and grow. That's what you demand.
We have statute of limitations on everything.
Yes.
Like, I don't even know... Murder? I don't know.
I think outside of murder, maybe rape.
Yeah, you shouldn't have it for those two.
Everything
else? Like, I even think with taxes. Like, if you didn't even pay your taxes, like back in the day, there's only a certain amount of years that they could get you. After that, suckers.
How many you want? How many years?
Say again?
How many years?
I'd be paying too much money in taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We pay a lot.
We sitting in a write-off right now. I'll be writing this thing off for the rest of my fucking life, okay? But still, like, if everything has a statute of limitations except the words that we use,
Yeah.
even if you said it and you meant it in a fucked up way, if you've changed, you gotta let motherfuckers change. You don't gotta do business with them anymore, but bringing them up is just gonna stop people from ever making the change because the costs, the costs are too high.
How do you measure if someone's changed, though?
They're not saying that shit anymore.
Yeah.
They could not have changed in their personal life, but if publicly they are, then what do you care?
Yeah.
And if they're in your private life, then tell them privately.
Yeah, or remove them from your private life.
Or remove them from your private
And there's a lot of people who say the right thing publicly and then privately they're pieces of shit. We elect them to office with regularity. So if human beings, if it's not live and learn, it's be born perfect and evolve 100 years like right now, we're all fucked.
I love
None of us are gonna know.
You're disincentivizing change.
Yeah.
I love this.
It's wonderfully said.
Okay, give me
what if they
pushback.
said some real fucked up shit, like super, like, oh, let's exterminate this group of people. And
I think we would all call that.
Say that now.
Yeah,
Was it a joke?
So in any given time, let's exterminate a group of people. You're not allowed to say that. It doesn't matter.
That's what I'm saying. There are things that you could say.
There's a fighter named Sean Strickland that was like part of like some like neo-Nazi groups or something like that in his youth, and through fighting, he realized that there were all these like non-white people that were like really helping him out and like showed him a lot of love. And they were loving him and helping him and supporting him in ways that like his like neo-Nazi buddies or like white supremacist buddies were. And then it made him relinquish that shit. Now, I'm not saying that those views are absolutely abhorrent, but we let him change, and now that's for the better. This person is out here, and let me just get the point out. This person is out here, and he has become the person that we want him to be. And he's been very open and honest about it. Instead of like hiding it, he had a conversation with Ariel Helwani about it. And Ariel Helwani is a Jewish guy. And they had this conversation. It's like he had these horrible views, and then he's changed these views through talking to new people and being allowed to change. What do we do? Do we say, hey, when you were a kid and you thought these fucking horrible things, you should never be allowed to do anything else in your life anymore? Or do we say, hey, that was great that you left that horrible shit aside, and I hope more people also do that?
Additionally, that's the guy that can make the most change with the group of people whose mind you want to change. He can go to these white supremacists and say, guys, I used to be this. I understand what you feel. I empathize with you. It's not the way. The idea of scared straight for kids who are like troubled youth is taking them to prison, and then a prisoner says, yo, I am what you were, or whatever. You know what I mean? It's the same kind of idea here where you take a guy who has changed and then talks to these people who are still in that shitty state and be like, yo, this is not it.
But like Mark's question, how do you know they've changed? Just because they stopped saying it doesn't necessarily mean
We can
they don't
only
believe those things anymore. They could just be like, hey, I'm not
But how
saying
can
it
you
out loud.
judge a man by his beliefs? It's impossible. None of us can do that, good or bad. I can't say a person says bad things, does bad things, is good because of his thoughts. You know what I mean? I can't say a person is good because he says the right thing, does, or he might do fucked up things in private we don't know
Let's
about.
assume they have changed. Do we still punish them for these past beliefs? Let's assume they have changed. Do we still punish them?
What do you mean by punish them? Like social like ostracization?
Yeah.
Or like
Or-
actual legal?
Or like, you don't get to be on the team that drafted you. They look back at your tweets when you were 16 years old and they see that you were tweeting rap lyrics and they're like, oh, that's it. We can't have this white guy who tweets some rap lyrics. Or if you're a black dude and you tweet some wild shit, we can't have you on the team.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I don't think that's necessarily the solution, but like, I do think people bring up like, yo, how do you actually rehabilitate someone that believes fucked up shit? So like, people point out like, this is a quote that like will go around the internet where it's like, okay, if there's one Nazi at a table and 9 people around him, there's 10 Nazis at a table. That's like a thing that people will say, like, obviously to try to get people to stop disenfranchising with quote unquote Nazis. But it's like, it depends what the context of that interaction is. Like if you're trying to bring someone out of a social situation or like there's some type of cultural pariah and you bring them into a new situation where you're able to like change their thoughts on some like Daryl Davis shit.
Yeah.
Is that helpful? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think
that's a much more helpful thing than ostracizing the one person and then they find each other and they just feed into that hate.
I think what Akaash was saying earlier also makes a lot of sense, which is like, I want that guy to share his story. Because his story could help so many other people that were like him.
Yeah.
Right? That's a powerful story. But if he's afraid to share that story because he's like, oh my God, my UFC contract is going to be taken. All my sponsors are going to go away from me. Everybody's going to hate me. And they're going to paint me now as this person that I was. Then he's going to be completely silent. Nobody else gets helped. Now, if he did horrible things based on those beliefs, like he broke the law and did some foul shit back then.
That's different.
That's different.
Yeah.
But we're talking about believing something.
But like Mel Gibson's a good example. Like,
Okay, go.
He says much racist shit about Jewish people. Sorry. And then who went and vouched for him? I forget who, but someone went up in front of the Academy and was like, guys, Mel Gibson's changed. We're sorry. Take him back. And like they stuck their neck out and they're like, he's a different person and tried to bring him back into the fold. For the longest time, he was like pushed out. Do you remember who that was?
No.
I forget who that person was.
The last thing I remember about Mel Gibson, not even making a joke, was the audio recording that his ex-wife released where he's saying more racist shit.
Yeah, exactly.
So to me, it's like, you didn't change. But I would also say ostracizing didn't work.
Right.
Because he got ostracized, and then he got him on tape a few years later saying more shit. Because it's like, what, do you really think that helps? It makes us feel good. It really makes you feel good,
But
me included, to ostracize somebody.
I'm okay ostracizing people in the moment.
Yes.
For
sure.
foul shit that they do. I'm ostracizing Will Smith.
Thank you.
Will Smith, you're not cool to
Yeah,
me because
thank
of an action that you did. 10 years from now, if Will Smith, or a few years, whatever it is, he goes, man, I fucked up. That was so stupid. Look at the trends of shit that I caused. Look at all these people at Newark that are getting fucking harassed and slapped just because of me. Like, look at what I've done. Look at the avalanche
The gay
that I've
agent
caused.
union is in shambles right now.
Shambles, bro.
Yeah.
People bleeding, right? So it's like, if I at least admit and take accountability for what I did, right? And then change in the future and recognize that, yo, Will, come on the pod, bro. Like, I got you. Let's talk it out. You're cool. You're I don't know if forgiven is the right word, but like, yeah, we're gonna move on. You realize what you did. You worked it out with Will, or you worked it out with Chris. Okay, let's go on. Let's figure something else out.
So the thing with the Oscars and Kev, I think they were just like, hey, we just want you to apologize so we know you don't have those thoughts that you had 10 years ago.
But he had already said, he
already
said, I already
apologized.
Oh, did he already?
They want that
that's-
motherfucker to kiss the ring, and they were protecting themselves.
Okay.
They were basically like, yo, look, they're going to make a big deal of this because we live in cancel culture right now, so they're going to find these tweets. Somebody probably already showed them. They're like, if you allow this guy to host, what we're going to do, because it's all about like getting the corporation to bend. It's not about the person. So somebody probably found a tweet and they're like, I can get this corporation to bend. Watch, right? It's a power struggle.
Yeah, I didn't know he already apologized.
Yeah, so he explains that in the joke. We might not have caught it early on, but he says he apologized.
Yeah.
He said, "I'm wrong. That was wrong. I'm not homophobic.
They
I'm
hit up the
sorry."
Oscars and they
go
basically
back.
said, yo, listen, I'm going to do this and I'm going to expose this and you guys are going to look crazy because you have a homophobe that's hosting the Oscars. So the Oscars freaks out and then they go, and the Oscars might not have even done their due diligence. The Oscars might not even look to see if they apologize.
Yeah.
And then it becomes this public fiasco when Kev could have just hit him and be like, yo, I already apologized for this. I'm not going to be held up on this forever. Now, he did end up apologizing again.
Well, that was Kev's statement when he stepped down. He's like, I'm not going to be hosting the Oscars because they're asking me to apologize, and I've already apologized however many times over.
And the onslaught is just so fucking relentless. I don't blame a guy for caving in a certain sense, but like to me, he apologized. He didn't make the joke again, and then you're asking him to apologize again for this. We're all gonna make bad jokes. Everyone on this anyone who tries to be funny, you will make a joke that hurts somebody at some point. If you feel bad and you apologize, it's cool, done.
Yeah.
Now move on. I'm not gonna keep apologizing for this. I've apologized. I understand it was wrong, but you're gonna just sit here and like flog me or whatever over and over because I fucked up once? I've changed. Give me that credit. And if you don't, I'm gonna start to resent you. And that's what I think these people don't have the sense to know is these people, you're just creating more enemies. You're not creating more love for the group of people that you want to help.
Yeah. When you're exercised from society, you become radicalized.
Yes.
And then you get brought in by all the other group of people that have been exercised, and you're like,
And that's how they get stronger. And that's where
You
just
keep
festers
saying
and grows.
exercised?
excise, yeah. I think I'm gonna say excise.
I think he kept saying exercise.
Yeah, but he-
exercise.
No, I said
full of that
excise.
pump right
No,
now.
I said
Yeah, we
excise.
full of that.
I said
Yeah.
excise, dude.
I
You
think
can look
you
back
said
at the tape. Check the
exercise.
tape.
Yeah,
Check the
run it
tape.
back.
You definitely said
Check the
exercise.
tape.
You 1,000% exercise.
You said exercise.
I thought you meant like exorcism, and I was like, I guess that
We're
works.
talking about Al or me.
You meant to say ostracized.
I know, excise, like a cyst.
Like, cut it out.
That's like a medical term.
Yeah. I meant to.
Nah.
He said exercise.
Nah, you
exercise.
fixing it.
Yeah, now you're dumb.
He said exercise.
He said exercise.
He 1,000%.
I'm not gonna let y'all fucking shit all over Al and never me
Yeah.
when words get fucked up. And then you say
llama tongue ass
exercise.
dude.
Fucking noodle hands. What are you talking about, noodle
He
hands?
said,
Look at
exercise.
Listen to that fucking spaghetti breath over here.
Fucking camel hump motherfucker.
Okay. What else? What else we talking about?
So, I
boys?
mean, he also had the trans joke that came out. Do you want to touch on that?
Yo, the trans joke. Yeah, we can watch it.
Those fucking dinosaurs. No, I love the new women. I know the new women. They're great, aren't they? You know, the new ones we've been seeing lately. The ones with beards and cocks. They're as good as gold. I love them. No, it's the old-fashioned with it. And now the old-fashioned, they go, oh, they want to use our toilets. Why shouldn't they use your toilets? For ladies. They are ladies. Look at their pronouns. What about this person isn't a lady? Well, his penis. Her penis, you fucking bigot. What if he rapes me? What if she rapes you? You fucking turf whore.
Funny, objectively, from a joke writing standpoint, it's good.
Yeah, the interesting thing about this and like the way he positions it is that he's not saying the things.
Yeah.
He's basically having the online discussion in real time.
Yeah.
So he's like positioning the groups against each other as if they're having that discussion. And it's kind of cool because it absolves him of any of the guilt.
Yeah.
This is what the trans community is saying. This is what the people are saying. And it is ridiculous when they're having that conversation because if you don't see trans people as what they say they feel they are,
Yeah.
then it sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he will catch some backlash. I don't know why it won't be as much as Chappelle.
I think he does a smart thing of playing that. He kind of does the Colbert thing but he does it to liberals. You know, Colbert, back when he was funny, used to mock extreme conservatives and like play that character and then make them look kind of foolish.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing with extreme liberals.
Yeah.
Where he's like, what's her? What if she rapes you? You fucking bigot. You idiot. And it's like, he's playing that character, so it's harder to get mad at. Because he's actually saying the right thing. You just know what he really means, so fuck you.
Right.
But he's saying the right thing, so you can't. It's clever, dude. That's the thing. Chappelle's anti-trans jokes weren't as clever to me as this. I found this more clever.
This is also silly.
And he's great at that.
There's a difference when you're just being silly.
Yes.
Silly, absurdist, ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I felt like Chappelle was like, I'm going to teach these trans women once and for all.
Yeah.
Gender is a fact.
They are not women.
Tell you what.
That was like the conversation. It was almost like, this is how you know. Or you might have a struggle, but it's not like black people's struggle. So not only do I not believe you're women, I also don't believe that your struggle is that big a deal.
Yeah.
So if you are someone struggling through that, you're going, well, fuck this. You know, where
Do you think
he's...
he meant it that way, or do you think it just came across?
I think it came across that way. I don't know what Chappelle really means. But if I'm a trans person, I can see how they might feel that way. I can see trans people being upset at this too.
Oh, they are.
They're like, yo, you're mocking me.
They're
like, I am a woman. I'm curious what Daisy feels about it. Because she's like, yo, I am a woman, and you're saying I'm not just because of these body parts. Which 10 years ago seemed completely reasonable, which is what he said in the other bit.
Yeah.
I
wonder if you can acknowledge like the irony in it. Like, even though you believe that there's a certain now like cultural change, you can acknowledge, oh, things were different back then, therefore I can understand why it's funny. You know what I mean? Like
that's first joke that we played is harder to get upset at because his point is logical.
Yeah, he's just saying like, oh, the discourse has changed, and now there's a funny thing happening in language.
Yeah.
So
You know what it is? It's like you understand bigotry much more as you have those people that are the victims of it in your friend group. So what we're going through right now is like what I imagine, right? White people, I imagine white people were a little bit more casually racist, even the whites that didn't identify as racist, casually racist before black people were in their friend groups, right? They were just saying things that were racist. They didn't even know they were racist to even say. And then you have a black dude enter the friend group and you see a black dude either get offended by that or see how they react to it or see them not live up to all those stereotypes that you thought were true. And then you're like, oh, fuck, okay, I got it. And I feel like that's what we're doing now with trans. We have this community who's like deeply offended, but very few people have trans friends in general. Trans are like 0.01% or whatever the hell it is. So it's like you don't even have a trans person to know how they feel about these certain things. Having Daisy on was a wild experience for me because it was the first time I'm actually, well, maybe a second time, but I'm like sitting down with a trans person and going, oh, wow, they really do feel like they are a woman, and it was convincing to me. So, and they're in this wrong body.
And
that was convincing.
Now, you know, they say sunlight is the greatest disinfectant. For bigotry, I think exposure is the sunlight. So exposure is what cleanses me of this thing that's bigotry. Exposure to a trans person being like, yo, this kind of hurts my feelings when people say X, Y, and Z. You're like, oh, shit, my bad. I didn't know. Before I knew a trans person, these were just jokes. Now I see it and I see how it hurts you, and that's a different thing.